Are you ready to discover the chilling events that have taken place in Israel? Get ready, because what unfolded there is alarming for the people of Israel and religious individuals worldwide. In this video, we will delve into the shocking recent events that have sent shockwaves around the globe. So let's dive into this video today to know what just happened in Israel and why it terrifies religious people. Temple reconstruction, a step towards the ancient temple's revival. Is the temple's reconstruction still progressing? So yes, the reconstruction of the temple is indeed progressing. Despite international criticism of Israel's claims to the Temple Mount and other parts of Jerusalem, efforts to rebuild the temple are underway. Jews, however, face legal restrictions and are not currently allowed to worship there. In contrast, Muslim individuals, particularly women dressed in black, actively maintain a constant presence to discourage Jewish tourists. Additionally, according to Islamic authorities, they assert that there was never a temple at the site. Recent research revealed evidence of an ancient temple. Surprisingly, some recent advancements in research have provided evidence supporting an ancient temple's existence at the current Temple Mount site. Researchers discovered a Jewish ritual cleansing site underneath the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which Muslims believe was built by Abraham many years ago. This finding directly contradicts the claim that no Jewish temple ever stood there. British archaeologist Robert Hamilton uncovered the ancient temple's remains when examining the mosque's foundations after it collapsed in 1927 due to an earthquake. During his examination, Hamilton discovered a Jewish mikvah, a ceremonial pool used for cleansing, beneath the mosque's floor. This mikvah was utilized by Jews during the era of the Second Temple for ritual immersion before entering the Temple Mount complex. These significant findings, hidden in the British Mandatory Archives out of fear of upsetting Muslim authorities, now prove that the ancient temple existed on the revered Jewish holy site, the Temple Mount. What preparations are being made for the temple services? The Sanhedrin, a Jewish legal and religious governing body, has taken the necessary precautions to ensure the safe resumption of temple services. One of their ongoing tasks is establishing a forest mentioned in the Bible, meeting the agricultural demands of the Third Temple. Speaking on behalf of the Sanhedrin, Rabbi Chaim Richman emphasized that when people think of sacrifices, they often associate them with animals and blood. However, a significant portion of the sacrifices actually consisted of plant offerings grown around Israel. Rabbi Richmond, a member of the Sanhedrin, has been spearheading the initiative to reintroduce the revered red heifer to Israel. The arrival of red heifers in Israel, a sign of end times? The appearance of 5 red heifers in Israel has stirred up a global discussion, especially among Christians who believe in biblical prophecy. These heifers are seen as significant because they fulfill the requirements outlined in the Mosaic law for sacrifice, specifically in Numbers 19. According to the law, the heifers must be red in color and unblemished. Many Christians believe that a third temple will be constructed in Jerusalem during the end times. The arrival of the red heifers in Israel has sparked further speculation about the potential fulfillment of this prophecy. What does the book of Numbers say about the red heifer? In the book of Numbers, God instructs that the children of Israel were commanded to acquire a red heifer that is without any blemish or spot. The heifer should never have been yoked or used for any work. Once obtained, the heifer will be slaughtered and burned outside the camp. To complete the ritual, certain additional items are added to the fire, including cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet yarn or wool. After the burning, the ashes are collected and placed in a vessel with pure water. The purpose of the red heifer offering is to purify individuals who have become ritually contaminated through contact with a dead body. The water from the vessel containing the ashes is sprinkled on the contaminated person on the 3rd and 7th day of their purification process. This sprinkling is done using a bunch of hyssops. Also, here's an essential point. The priest performing the red heifer ritual becomes ritually impure. The priest must wash himself and his clothes in flowing or living water to regain purity. The priest remains impure until evening. How do different communities view the arrival of the red heifers? A source, All Israel News, reports that the Orthodox Jewish community in Israel sees the arrival of the red heifers as a step toward restoring the temple services in Jerusalem. They believe that these heifers could be used to reinstate various practices associated with the Jewish temple even before the construction of the Third Temple. The heifer's arrival is celebrated with blessings, songs, dances, toasts, and even shofar blowing. Some other sources also view the arrival of the red heifers as significant. They emphasize the importance of Jerusalem as the place chosen by God and where a house of prayer for all nations will one day be restored, as mentioned in Isaiah 56:7. They consider the potential use of the red heifers in the reinstatement of temple services shortly as an incredible development. The significance of Armageddon. The book of Revelation in the Bible provides insight into the concept of Armageddon. Revelation 16:16 mentions the place known as Armageddon, where the kings of the earth gather for a great war during the end times. This prophetic book describes a scene in Hebrew called Armageddon, signifying the assembly of the world's rulers to fight against God on the great day of God Almighty. Revelation 16:14. According to Scripture, those who oppose God and His purposes will be defeated by an army led by Jesus Christ. These individuals deny God's power and treat Him with disdain, as stated in Ezekiel 39:7. Contrary to popular belief, the Battle of Armageddon will not be limited to the Middle East or any specific region. Jeremiah 25:32, 34, and Ezekiel 39:17, 20 state that this battle will occur throughout the earth, involving nations worldwide. The term Armageddon is derived from the Hebrew word Har Mikelon, which translates to Mountain of Megiddo. Megiddo was a city located in ancient Israel's land, known for its historical wars mentioned in the Bible. However, the physical location of ancient Megiddo or the nearby low plain of Jezreel is not directly related to the Battle of Armageddon, as they lack the size to accommodate the vast number of people rebelling against God. While we cannot predict precisely how God will exercise His power, previous biblical accounts suggest that He may use various tools, such as hail, earthquakes, floods, fire, sulfur, lightning, and diseases, to bring about instability among His adversaries. This may even lead to some of them turning against each other. Eventually, they will come to realize that God is the one they should truly fear. Will Armageddon result in the destruction of the world? Armageddon does not signify the end of the planet. Earth is the eternal home of humanity, as mentioned in Ecclesiastes 1:4. Instead, it represents the end of a wicked, God-hating human civilization. The Bible assures us that a great crowd of God's believers will survive Armageddon, as emphasized in Psalm 37:34, and Revelation 7:9-14. According to Jesus, no one, not even the heavenly angels or the Son, knows the exact timing of the world's end. Only the Father has that knowledge, Matthew 24:3. Also, note that Armageddon is connected to the Great Tribulation, which precedes the battle. However, the interpretation of Armageddon occurring in 1914 before Jesus' enigmatic return is specific to certain religious beliefs. The mention of Armageddon and its association with end times events can bring fear and concern among people, including those in Israel. The idea of a global conflict involving nations from all over the world uniting against God's dominion can evoke anxiety and uncertainty about the future. Armageddon's repercussions and potential destruction are significant factors contributing to the fear it generates. Israel, a country in the Middle East near the Mediterranean Sea, is a place deeply cherished by Christians, Muslims, and Jews. Its capital, Jerusalem, holds numerous sacred sites that play a crucial role in the religious beliefs of these three faiths. For Judaism and Christianity, Israel is often called the Holy Land, and Jerusalem is considered the Holy City. In their religious traditions, Israel is where the essence of their faith resides and where they feel the presence of their messengers and prophets. For Christians, Israel is especially significant because it is the place where many pivotal events in the life of Jesus Christ occurred. These events are documented in the Bible, particularly in the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Some of the most notable locations include the Temple Mount, the Old City, the Western Wall, and Mount Zion. In Islam, Israel holds value as well. It is the land where Jesus, known as Hazrat Isa, is recognized as one of Allah's messengers. Islamic teachings suggest that certain prophecies are yet to be fulfilled, and one of them involves the reconstruction of Solomon's temple on the Temple Mount. The quest for a third temple. The idea of rebuilding the original temple, known as Solomon's Temple, has recently gained attention. This temple was a place of worship dedicated to God and existed thousands of years ago. It was destroyed by the Babylonians and later replaced by Herod's temple, which stood for over 5 centuries until the Romans destroyed it. The concept of a third temple has emerged as a response to the destruction of the second temple. However, this endeavor is complex due to opposition from countries with Islamic backgrounds and the intricate political situation in Jerusalem. Various nations recognize different parts of Jerusalem as the capital for Israel and Palestine, leading to ongoing regional tensions and conflicts. This complex situation adds another layer of significance to Jerusalem in the context of these 3 faiths. The presence of the Dome of the Rock, a significant Islamic monument, on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem adds a layer of complexity to the ongoing discussions and debates regarding the site's historical significance. The central question revolves around whether the previous temple, known as Solomon's Temple, stood in the same location as the Dome of the Rock. Numerous research efforts and investigations have been conducted to uncover the truth. One notable discovery that has contributed to the discussions was made by British archaeologist Robert Hamilton. He found a mikveh, a Jewish ritual bath, beneath the floor of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. This finding supports the belief in the historical location of the temple, reigniting the debate surrounding its reconstruction. In response to the recent mikveh discovery, the Sanhedrin, a highly respected Jewish tribunal, has taken steps to prepare to construct the third temple. The land, once farmland and forests, is being cultivated to meet the future needs of the temple. One crucial requirement for temple services is the availability of a flawless red heifer, a unique cow that meets specific criteria. Its ashes are essential for the purification process of Jews participating in temple rituals. The quest for the perfect red heifer, Rabbi Jane Richmond, a prominent figure in Israel, is actively engaged in the mission to bring a perfect red heifer back to Israel. The purification process, as described in Numbers 19 of the Bible, demands meticulous adherence to biblical instructions. However, obtaining a suitable red heifer is a challenging endeavor, requiring immense effort and dedication. The scarcity of red heifers used for purification rituals between the first and second temples is well documented. Yet Rabbi Jane Richmond and fellow rabbis from the Temple Institute have embarked on an ambitious mission. They are collaborating with a cattle farmer to breed a red heifer using modern scientific methods. This involves implanting frozen embryos from North American Red Angus cattle into Israeli domestic cattle. Their aim is to achieve success in this challenging task. The red heifer must be born in Israel, flawless in appearance, and never used for work. Building the third temple involves more than just obtaining the red heifer. Training a special group of priests, known as the Kohanim, is vital to ensure the proper execution of temple services and rituals, preparing the Kohanim and the altar. Under the guidance of the Sanhedrin and the temple movement, the Kohanim, priests, are diligently learning the proper rituals and equipment usage necessary for temple service. One critical aspect of the construction involves the creation of a new altar, which is crucial for the sacrifices that will take place at the original site on the Temple Mount. The Jewish community's desire to rebuild the temple is rooted in their restricted access to the previous temple site, which is currently controlled by Muslims. Overcoming this obstacle necessitates political action and international cooperation. Israel's Judicial Council recognized this need, suggesting potential international organizations and regional states mediation. Collaborative efforts among faith leaders from various backgrounds are deemed essential to rebuild the temple. The Antichrist and temple construction biblical texts, including the books of Daniel and Revelation, contain hints about a figure referred to as the Antichrist. In Revelation 13:13, there is a reference to this figure, and some interpretations suggest that the Antichrist could be a potential political leader involved in the reconstruction of the Third Temple. This implies that influential figures globally might lend their support to the construction efforts. Looking back in history, in the 8th century BC, King Hezekiah oversaw the creation of the Siloam Pool, also known as the Pool of Siloam. This pool played a vital role in securing Jerusalem's water supply through a tunnel meticulously carved by skilled engineers. The continuous flow of water from the Gihon spring sustained the city even during challenging times. As these ventures to rebuild the temple unfolds, the importance of unity and mutual understanding becomes increasingly clear. Questions linger. Can the quest for the red heifer succeed? Will the Temple Mount undergo a transformation? Time will ultimately provide the answers. Amid diverse communities and beliefs, collective efforts persist towards the shared goal of rebuilding the Third Temple, symbolizing faith, heritage, and a deep connection to history. Pool of Siloam, the remarkable engineering feat of King Hezekiah. In the 8th century BC, King Hezekiah initiated an extraordinary endeavor, the construction of the Siloam Pool, also known as the Pool of Siloam. This remarkable engineering feat was designed to secure a consistent water source for Jerusalem during times of conflict. Carved through solid rock for approximately 2,000 feet, it channeled water from the Gihon spring into the city twice daily. The pool, measuring about 53 feet in length, 18 feet in width, and 19 feet in depth, was a testament to the fusion of nature's rock formations and human craftsmanship. Tragically, the Second Temple and the Pool of Siloam faced destruction during the Babylonian attack on Jerusalem. However, the pool was later reconstructed during the time of Nehemiah and underwent further expansion under the rule of Herod the Great. The Pool of Siloam held deep cultural and religious significance, becoming a gathering place for those in need, particularly the poor and sick, who believed in its healing properties. The Pool of Siloam played a pivotal role during the Feast of Tabernacles, a celebration that reminded the Israelites of their liberation from Egypt. This festival marked their ancestors' journey from bondage to freedom and featured ceremonies at the pool that were instrumental in preserving Israel's cultural and religious heritage. Also known as Sukkot, this festival was a special occasion among Jews, commemorating their deliverance from Egypt and giving thanks for the harvest. During Sukkot, the Mishnah, a collection of Jewish teachings, guided the construction of temporary dwellings called sukkahs. People expressed gratitude to God for sustenance and fervently prayed for rain. A priest would fetch water from the Pool of Siloam during the festival, and the jubilant crowd would accompany him while reciting Psalms 113 to 118. The priest would then pour the water on the altar's west side, symbolizing Isaiah 12:3. In 2004, the Pool of Siloam was uncovered during sewer line excavations, revealing only a portion of its length. This rediscovery provides a glimpse into this ancient water source's rich history and significance. Armageddon, more than apocalypse. Now let's explore the concept of Armageddon, a term often linked to apocalyptic scenarios but having a distinct meaning within our context. As mentioned in Revelation 16:16, Armageddon signifies a gathering place for armies in battle. It represents a worldwide rebellion against God's authority and isn't limited to a specific location. The term originates from Mount Megiddo in northern Israel, known for historical battles, but it can also symbolize natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, or hail. Natural events such as landslides, thunderstorms, diseases, wildfires, and lightning often showcase the might of a higher power. These occurrences can impact nations that disregard moral principles. Recent times have witnessed various regions worldwide facing these disasters, reminding us of the forces that shape our world and the importance of ethical values. So, what are your thoughts on the recent events in Israel that are causing fear among religious people? Is the end of the world near? Is this the fulfillment of end-time prophecies? Share your views in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more such videos.